Well, I'm guessing, I think the play I would do is Link's House and then Sanctuary, and it looks like both of them are starting there.
And we get 20 rupees inside Link's house.
Ooh.
Are we going to get an early map check?
It looks like they're both going to go straight for Escape with a map check.
And it looks like, what, all three crystals? All three crystals. And
Yeah,
Eastern is part of the 5-6 combo.
Very much. This might be a fast one. We got Kohrek walking a sign around for fun.
Yep, and he uses it to smash one of the guards so he can set up the tree pole. And, oh, nice tree pole.
That is about the best you can get there, other than maybe 4 bomb drops.
Or the 8 bomb drops, but, well, that's excess at this point, but 4 bombs is well enough. Uncle with the flippers, and we saw flippers become a nice little troll in the last seed. This time, 50 seconds in.
That's not bad. And, he must have been swimming in the little pool off to the right and just got tired right there.
And hey, how about some more bombs?
I wouldn't say that the uncle is Zora. I'd just say that he hangs out with them on the weekends. They're drinking buddies.
What's their drink of choice?
Oh, well, Zora is more of a kind of fruity drink kind of person, and Uncle is straight up just milk.
So the uncle is milk, and we might be talking cocktails for Zora. That's an interesting combination.
Well, the uncle has to keep a level head. He has Link to take care of and, places to fall down.
So that's what they do with the Lon Ranch milk.
I like that Kohrek is just, he's loading up on bombs. You need about 10, pretty much, for a large portion of the early game. The more the merrier, really.
Yeah, you want to go in with a full set of bombs when you head on over to Kakariko Village, and, well, the crabs do drop bombs as well, so we know that. And I missed what was in the anxiety tree.
I think it was the mirror.
And we're going to find out. And then Ninjembro's end. Yeah, that is the mirror! Oh! The question is, will it be required?
I have a strong feeling the mirror is generally required. It locks off a few overworld locations and one entire dungeon. So you have a 70% chance that it's required alone from the dungeon.
We do know that 3 of the Dark World dungeons will not be required, at least as far as completion, that we know of.
That is true. Well, I guess...
No guarantee.
Yeah. I wouldn't know what to think of seeing there. I would potentially just make a play to kill Aghanim, although that could really be a fool's errand if it is not needed. But it does save so much time in a lot of dungeons, like Pod with Mirror, I think is twice as fast.
All depends on where certain things are. Like, for example, where is the flute? Because desert's required. Where's the book?
Ooh, these are good questions.
What's on top of Spectacle Rock? What's on top of the floating island?
Got some rupees coming in. That's always some good stuff.
Rupees,
these guys are like
arrows.
In sync with each other.
Blue mail, bombs. Because we can't have enough bombs, all right? Oh, and some money too, which will now give Kohrek enough money for the bottle vendor coming up.
I am 100% a fan of picking up as many rupees as you can in the early game, just anywhere you see them, so long as it's not like a kill that's out of the way for a single rupee, until you get like at least 600, because you're going to use them. You're going to find a use for about 600 of them in all cases.
Arrow upgrade, which is not necessarily what we want to see at this point, but we would like to find a stable weapon, though.
I don't know. I kind of like swordless fights.
Well, there's a bee that could at least help you out just a little.
Oh, that's actually a legitimate mini Moldrum cave item. Gets you in there with little effort.
I think it really depends if you get the good bee or the bad bee.
Both of them, the good bee will clear them out quickly. The bad bee should still kill all 4 of them.
Well, that was a bad bomb.
He didn't like that cuckoo.
What did that cuckoo do to him?
I don't know, but we got another one getting tossed through a wall.
The good old bird tosses are already underway at 5 minutes into this run. Now, the good thing about getting the bottle in Kakariko Village, you can check Sick Kid on your way through.
Absolutely.
And he's just got a bomb upgrade.
So it's like not even making bombs, just making bomb sacks. Why would that make you sick?
Too much dust.
Fair enough. I'm not entirely sure about this play from kohrek. Kohrek. He decided to just go ahead and buy another 10 bombs. I don't think you really need that many more.
Yeah, I'm not certain about that play, knowing that the crabs drop them when you pull up the grass, as well as pulling the trees gives you them, and oh, it's only blue rupees in the library.
Yeah, I would say, like, at the very least, if you feel like you need bombs heading towards Mini Moldorm, you can go snag a few from the crab right outside of there. I don't think anyone's going to take the 50 rupees from the race game. If it were 300, I would probably do that. Whoa, and call me a liar.
Ninjembro is going for the money.
Although, admittedly, I think he's at 380 right now. That is awfully close to Zora money. So it's not the worst play for a quick 50. Although I agree, it is most certainly trash.
Oh, there's worse things to be called trash, but there's a whole lot better things that could be called trash as well. Welcome to the swamp. Have a heart container.
That's not too bad. They are still low hearts, even with blue mail. Little side note, one of the first things that I translated in this game was the race game.
And you decided to call it trash.
Yep, because most of the time it is.
And hello, is that blue goo in a bottle?
That most certainly looks like it. The water's blue.
That's something everybody wants to get. It's a nice safety to have. So what trash are we going to find here in the Mini Moldorm Cave?
Well, I don't know. They haven't found much worth yet, like a whole lot to do anything with. I'm thinking they're going to find a weapon of some type.
You know, I really had a wasted opportunity here, my friend. The first bee we found, the first bottle we had a bee torp in it.
Yes, it did. But that only counts if it's the good bee.
There's no way to find out unless you release it.
Which, let's see if Ninjembro... Yeah, Ninjembro's totally going to go with that strat.
Here we go. It looks like it's the original bee. No, it's the good bee.
It's totally the good. He doesn't even have to waste a bomb here.
He does, but he does get an 8 drop, though. Thank you, good bee. And we found some powder. What's that man doing some powder in that room of his?
Well, he's a thief. We can't rule that out. So Ninjembro, if he finds a way to get some more rupees, I'm a little surprised that no one's checked. They both have the boomerang, that they haven't checked the stun pack. Because if the stun pack's something like 20 rupees, he could be well on his way to a whole bunch of items at Zora.
Let's see what the hobo has. The hobo has money. That's your Zora money right there, and guess you can route that in now.
That is actually really well done for kohrek.
Now this will be nice for Ninjembro if he finds money in here. Nope.
Not at all.
So we're going to see the routes diverge now. Ninjembro does not look like, unless he heads straight south, does not look like he is going to head on over towards Zora or the hobo.
Well, he could still do it. It's actually faster from this direction. It's legitimately faster. Plus, like, you get the quick check on the island from right here.
that's routing stuff I need to learn one of these days.
If you have the flute, it's always faster to flute to 8 and then go. But otherwise, if you have flippers, it's definitely faster to go from Link's house to get Hobo or to the Zora warp.
So Chad's calling that the Hobo owns this bridge. Is this a toll bridge in that case? Is this the funds that he's collecting from all the motorists going across it? I guess they're not motorists.
The pedestrians. I don't know, it's pretty well guarded. Maybe he's like got a scheme going on where the guards
see, that's 10 rupees, that's another 10, that's another 10, that's another 10. There you go. Cashing in on that one guard that decides that he wants to shimmy across that bridge.
And we're back to route parity.
All right, the Waterfall, the newest addition in V26. There's bottle number 3. No! How about a glove?
Glove is really nice, but it's not... They still don't really have any progression. They can't get anywhere outside of the original locations in the game yet. I mean, in Zora's domain. They need something.
You can sequence break your way up to Death Mountain, but again, without the lamp, that is a sequence break. All right. Take a guess, Chad. What do you think is going to be worth 500 rupees?
I know I'd personally lay my wager on a sword. Or the lamp.
I'm going to go with a single arrow.
Single arrow is an amazing arrow.
Here we go. Oh, the hammer!
It is clobbering time. That is good. So they have...
Thank you for visiting the Zora hardware store. How may I help you?
That's great. So they're a Moon Pearl away from Dark World access. And they have a legitimately great weapon now. It's essentially the Tempered Sword. They also have access to both the front and back. To like really have access front and back of Escape.
And speaking of that, we're going to see both sides checked right now on the two sides of the screen.
I think I agree with Ninjembro's play first. The back half is 3 items really condensed, as opposed to the long walk through the other half. If you find map here, or don't find map, that is, you might also save time and get to skip the Zelda cell, but then map can still be in the center. So there's a lot of different plays that could happen in this.
No key, no map. There's a single arrow.
Oh, well, the game's over then. We already know who won.
That's it. Okay, prep up the 10 o'clock race here, Fiesel. Time to begin that one.
So in the Swiss run that Ben did to get all the names, there was like a few items left over, and I'm like, hey, what do you want to have left over? You know, some bombs or whatever. And he like names a few things, and he's like, well, you can leave the single arrow. And I'm like, oh, I wasn't taking that one out. You're gonna have that one in there, whether you wanted it or not.
Hook shot! Oh boy!
So we are a lamp away from some really solid access into Death Mountain.
Wood Pearl!
And Ninjembro, I don't know, Ninjembro I think has the better play at the moment. Dark World access is super big. In fact, he could also check Magic Bat and then head into Dark World.
Now, kohrek has found a key, so therefore we are not guaranteed either item here, but it is a map that means the sewer does have an item that is lamp locked.
Oh, interesting. And given with where they found the glove, the Moon Pearl, and the hammer, our lamp could be almost anywhere.
Buckle up, kids. This is going to be a wild ride, and this will get even more wilder if we find the flute soon.
Oh, so many options at that point.
Oh, Ninjembro is checking the magic bat already.
I agree with this. It's you know, like playing to your advantage. If you don't think your opponent got any of these items, immediately checking it can lead to advantages that you're going to have.
All right, Bat, what do you have for us at this Bat channel? A bomb upgrade.
Little womp
Feels
womp.
bad, man.
That's a lot of feeling
Feels
bad.
bad, man. Ooh, sequence break time.
Oh, we are doing the. Is that a bee release to be able to move through there?
He released the bee.
That is also an amazing way to do that. I mean, it's going to take you a second through here, but I guess you have to follow it to find the key that the one rat would drop.
Well, eventually we'll see if this pays off. The neat thing is that kohrek can hookshot himself onto the chest.
That is right. Although he has to know where he is. He's currently over by the torches.
Oh, just a 20 rupee. That would have been amazing if the sequence break did lead to an item.
I agree. That could have been a very huge thing. Although I don't think this particular seed here is going to allow for any major sequence breaks. It's kind of telling them, like, one, it gave them the flippers and said, you're not doing any of those sequence breaks.
I think kohrek is setting up for another sequence break. And we get a map check. Oh, Turtle Rock is red pendant, green pendant at pod. Thieves Town, blue pendant, 6 is swamp.
You know what that means?
That means you're going to find the ice rod really soon.
Possible. It more else means that we're going to be killing Aghanim at some point.
Oh, that's right, because swamp is required.
That is correct. And kohrek has everything he needs, I mean, on top of killing Aghanim, to get into swamp. So as soon as he gets the ability to kill Aghanim, I hope that he presses that advantage, because swamp has 6 items. It's really worthwhile to get into early, especially if you have to, like, feed it.
Well, kohrek is a little lost, and I'm hoping you're not in trouble with those sirens.
No, those are the sirens for the sequence break police.
And a piece of heart coming from the old man. The kohrek sequence broke. Oh, Silver's in the sea house.
Nice. I think ninjembro is just going to go for the play on pod. On Thieves Town. It's a rough fight with the hammer, but if you're comfortable with it, you can totally beat blind with the hammer.
What is on Spectacle Rock? Just a piece of heart? I was hoping that was going to be something else nice and big.
No.
That was required. 20 rupee up on the...
Inside Spectacle Rock?
Inside Spectacle Rock. And so far, this is not turning out to be a great start to Thieves Town.
Is that a small key and a big key so far?
Silver's turned out to be in the sea house, which ninjembro has. And a piece of heart. And kohrek playing over here in the east side of Death Mountain. Oh, we found the Quake Medallion and a shield on kohrek's side. Now, if kohrek finds the lamp here, that means that the flute will be accessible easily.
Yeah, well, accessible before you need the lamp.
Correct.
Whether that's easy, potentially. I mean, it could be, if they find the fire rod, that means the lamp could technically be, like, on Mothula. But then again, they'd also have a sword, so that'd be nice. So I think if I were kohrek, I'd probably bomb jump across here, and I would actually go ahead and dip straight into Hera. You might be able to beat it. There's only a small chance that you wouldn't, and you might only have to skip out on one chest.
Yeah, it would be a smart play to make at this point.
That frog taking damage is so great.
That must have been so much fun to try to program into the randomizer.
Oh, the sprite changes?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it was a little easier than expected.
Oh, sword up there on the floating island.
Which means one sword is Titan's Mitt, Mirror, locked, as well as, well then, no, it'd just be Mirror, because they already have Hammer. Getting the hook shot's helpful, but you didn't need it at this point to get to that.
Ninjembro's gonna have to be careful down to a heart and a half, even though he does have the blue goo in his pocket.
And he's got that.
And also he's got magic powder. Never mind.
No, it's all right. It's still scary. Ooh, this is not what Kohrek wants to see in the basement of Hera.
Uh-oh. I'm feeling really, really awful about this. Really feeling really bad about this.
Yeah. Ouch. That is unfortunate to make that play. So it's probably back to go do the spiral cave and hope for good things there. And that means that the big key is downstairs, that you'll need a fire source to be able to complete Tower of Hera.
Well, we'll see them come back at some point in time. Now, this would be awfully trolly if they decide to give Kohrek the fire rod now.
That would be just awful. Although, Allegren makes a good point. Or whomever, he was answering someone, that the sword on the floating island is in fact locked by Aghanim, so there is a sword somewhere else that they can get, because you absolutely have to have a sword to get to Aghanim.
Yeah, that's a very good point to make. I'm wondering where boots are, because that's also sword blocked at this. Well, Aghanim blocked at this point. Well, not Aghanim. Never mind. It blocks you from getting to the mirror.
What if our man here, Blind, has the first sword, and you're forced to beat up Blind with a hammer?
That forfeit.
But it's not the case.
50 rupees, that's it. Blue pendant. So we get the wavy coin. We don't know if that's going to be required. But the question now is, did Ninjembro save himself time later on? Is this a pedestal required seed? Kohrek's about to get his Moon Pearl.
And I would guess at 22 minutes, if you're just checking Sahasrara and you find that Moon Pearl, you're going to think, oh no, am I behind?
Absolutely.
But I think Kohrek is also making an excellent play here, going for where the most items could possibly be.
Oh, can we get a hype? And Ninjembro did the digging game before I could even ask the chat which dig number you think the item's going to be in. Turned out to be easy this time around.
I'm going to guess it's somewhere around 7 or 8. Am I allowed to do that now?
Not anymore.
All right, so the Hype Cave's got to be hyped this time around. They don't really have anything. Let's see Tempered Sword in here.
Can
That'd
we
be
get
great.
some hype? Oh, there's 10 arrows. That's not hype. There's 5 more arrows. That's not hype. There's some money. That's not hype. And there's a bomb upgrade. This is the Dipe Cave.
That was horrible.
The combination of dud and hype.
But that's 5 items that you don't have to go looking for now, right?
If you say so. And then Ninjembro's about to get equally as disappointed.
I do like the pathing that Ninjembro's going on. The question is, when he travels up towards Pyramid, does he just check Pyramid? Or does he go all the way up to, like, does he do Pyramid and go on to Pod? Or does he do Pyramid and go up to Catfish? Personally,
I'm thinking.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say personally, I would go up to catfish.
I would take the example of the race that was before this and use that towards your reasoning to go up to catfish first.
Yeah, I try not to use. I try to clear my mind of every previous one. I just think if I went into pod and I was like bow locked out of the dungeon, that would be a waste of time. Especially since I don't have boots, I can't really move fast. And the off chance that catfish has the bow, which is always possible, right? Any one location can be the thing you need. It's probably worth checking there first before you go to pod.
Yep, I am with all the meta plays. That's why I'm in the secondary tournament, not in the primary. And money on the pyramid ledge.
So here it is. Looks like he's going up.
Ninjembro only has one play by going this way to catfish. Don't forget, he doesn't have the hook shot yet.
That is correct, but he's already cleared North Dark World, so there's not much else other than maybe going into Skull Woods for him right now. Although I'm a little surprised that he didn't just peek into Skull Woods. You have, a few items you can check pretty quickly.
Kohrek is about to be disappointed with the Bat Cave himself. The seed is bootless until boots, and we know the boots are required this seed.
We absolutely do. And Dr. Zach, you can do pod, however, you're running a small risk that there's no small key in the bottom left chest, and if you do that, you can't go any further in pod. So it's a lot of setup. You're walking, you get there. More than likely there's a key there, but if there isn't, you've wasted a whole heap of time.
Thank you, Magius, for reminding people about where I am in this tournament.
I chose to be in the secondary tournament. You chose to too.
I chose to be in the secondary tournament by running 2 dud races and a fantastic race mixed in.
I have the lovely joy of I'm an admin of this race, so I'm chose to be an impartial judge in any things that get brought up.
Only
Plus,
this race?
I love the chill nature of the alternate race, the secondary. We're gonna have fun.
But only this race.
If you and I face off against each other, I will guarantee to fall to one of the moldworms at least once.
Thank you. That's at least evening out the playing field.
Alright, so does kohrek? Yeah, go to Skullwoods. Feel the moth. Hopefully.
Well, he can't feed the moth. He's 2 items blocked from getting to the moth.
That's true. 1 item.
No, 2. Fire rod plus the sword.
You got me. I forget about the sword regularly. I play swordless, so I am liking though that we've had 1 swordless boss kill so far. Ooh.
Oh, the cane of Samaria. That's interesting.
That is a legit item that doesn't help them with anything right now.
Gives Kohrek an option, an additional option to beat blind if he decides to head that direction, and Jambro grabbing the map and be like, oh crap, there's an item in those sewers.
I just learned something right now. I mean, yes. I knew that you could do that, but I didn't realize that anyone would think to hookshot through that spike. That was brilliant.
You know, the amazing thing is that you learn tricks by watching these people. Now, Kohrek does have an advantage with this cane of Samaria, and he's about to show it off.
That is true. That makes checking the second half a lot easier.
I'll say goodbye to Ninjembro. He's about to go through some dark rooms to get a whole 20 rupees. And then our background went dark too, just like Ninjembro's screen.
It's back.
Well, Well, I know it's back. Just the funny thing is it did at the same time that Ninjembro went to the dark room.
Wow.
Oh, the lamp!
Wow. So, Kohrek now has a fire sword. Kohrek can now beat Tower of Hera.
Kohrek can at least get himself a minimum of 2 of the 3 chests out of Eastern.
That is true. Although I think Kohrek will probably, with the items that he has now, make the play on Thieves Town after. I would probably still check the bumper cave first, which is what looks like he's going for. Information is key. If this is something you need, then you're going to absolutely prioritize finding that cape. And wow.
No, we give people grief about that little small glitch, but he works his butt off for this tournament, and just remember, there are races scheduled for 5 and 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Keep that in mind, friends.
And Flawless Cucumber, to answer your question, if Moth, Meyer, and T-Rock are all pendants, I don't know why you don't need a sword for... Oh, yeah, and Meyer and T-Rock. You'd also have to have Aghanim not required. Then all 4 swords could potentially be in GT. The chance of that is so astronomically low, but it is still a chance.
So apparently, the sword turned out to be on top of Bumper Cave too.
It absolutely did. That's 2 swords that I believe Kohrek himself has seen that he can't get to.
This is bonkers.
This is amazing.
And we know that one of the swords has got to be accessible at some point. Or magic cape away from a sword could be the sword they need to get to Aga 1.
Absolutely. Because then the cape gets him into Aga 1 at the same time. Cape at ice. Let's go. Problems? I agree with the way you think.
By the way, there's another place that Kohrek could check. He now has full access to Tower of Hera.
That is true. He can go back and check the... he can go get the big key in the basement and then head up and get 2 more items. Or 1 more item.
One more item, yeah.
Yeah. Ninjembro is going to be doing the cleanup that Kohrek's already done.
So by the time that Kohrek gets to blind, we'll see both of these routes converge just a little bit, but the only difference is Kohrek does have the Cane of Samaria, does have the lamp pulled out of Skull Woods.
I think... Yeah, well, Ninjembro's literally going to go on the exact same path. He's probably going to go check Hera, realize he needed a fire source, and then start to think about where he can go. And neither runner has checked Agina. Neither runner has gone into Eastern. So we still have some options of just base areas that they can go to and get items.
And because Ninjembro already cleaned up the northern side of Hyrule as well as the Village of Outcasts, the chances of him going to Skull Woods lessens because of that.
Absolutely. Unless it's something he just keeps in the back of his head. But it's more than likely he's not going to want to prioritize heading back there anytime soon. Both of our runners flawlessly... Well, no. Actually, Kohrek did fall once, didn't he?
Yep.
Because it was flawless the second time. And is that how you can count flawlessness?
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
All right. So Ninjembro's about to get his knowledge on his first sword after he deals with the dead rock. Did Kohrek do the spiral cave? Don't remember. I thought he went back, but
We'll have 1,000 pair of eyes tell us the answer in about 10 seconds.
Okay, yes, corrected.
You guys were supposed to wait 10 seconds until you answered me.
They're brilliant. They already know what I'm thinking. So where would you go if you were kohrek after you finished Thieves Town? Would you beeline back up to Hera, or would you consider Eastern?
Eastern.
You'd probably do Eastern?
Eastern. Yeah.
Just
one
like
item versus possible 3.
That's fair. You have access to a guaranteed 2, right?
Yeah, you got guaranteed 2, possible 3rd.
Yeah. I think that's probably a legit play. You have a fire source, you can see in the dark. You're not sequence breaking anymore. But I think these players are good enough that, well, that assorted is kind of rough doing that.
So right now we are 2 items away from an Aghanim visit. We're several items away from at least considering this seed done. And it's a weird position to be at 35 minutes in.
This is a very not giving seed, I will give you that.
Candace Samaria and Lamb turned out to be in Skull Woods. That's the play to make, but ninjembro has something else in mind.
It looks like he's going to go to Eastern.
Now, for ninjembro's sake, I would love to see him get the fire rod here, because that would set him on the path over to Skull Woods. Now, Kohrek's using the Candace Samaria strats against blind.
Although with the way that he's using it, he might run out of magic and have to switch over to a hammer at some point.
It's going to be 9 total hits, no matter what way you hit blind.
Yeah. I think he only has 3 blocks left with that much magic.
Yeah, he's having a little bit of difficulty here. Maybe he finally got it.
Oh,
yes. Ninjembro taking our first peek in Eastern Palace. And there's money. That is one of the 3 items right there.
That is not something ninjembro wants to see. And I think that's vanilla where 100 rupees are in the game.
I think it's 300 in the main game, but yeah, it's rupees.
I thought it was 100 because it's enough to get a bottle. But I could be wrong. Oh
And
my.
50 rupees. That is 2 out of 3. Uh-oh.
So the question is, you get to the compass chest. If it's an item, do you just immediately piece out of here? I think you would. Or do you continue around and go ahead and get the big key because you're going to have to do it anyway?
I think he would just go right for the key. Now, Kohrek, maybe forgetting he has the gloves, is going to take the long way around. There's the big key.
Now, let's hope the big chest has the items so that ninjembro doesn't waste any more time in this dungeon.
It's the compass.
Bring on the time waste.
The 1,000 pairs of eyes in chat have corrected me and noted that it is 100 rupees. For some reason, I thought it was the 300. I thought it was one of the 4, but I'm wrong. You're right. We move on.
It's not about being wrong or right. It's just, we're having fun. We're watching some dark room navigation here.
We're watching the 100 best randomizer players trying to fight for 40 spots in the upcoming group stage portion of this tournament.
Okay, be Titansmith. That'd be great. That'd be what we want to see here.
It's the flute.
Oh, interesting. So the moment you had a Death Mountain access, you had Death Mountain access. Because that lamp would have given you access to that location. That's amazing.
So that flute really doesn't open up any sort of progress at this point.
No, it might take them over to Agina, and take a look at what's on the desert ledge, but really there's nothing they haven't done at this point with that. So ninjembro will hopefully realize that after he looks at Agina, there is nothing but going to Skullwoods for him.
So kohrek is going to grab that flute shortly. He's got to make the play back to Hera.
I think that's about the only thing left.
Agina and Hera.
Yep. So this is going to be telling. Did not getting the lamp and the cane of Samaria lead ninjembro to the Agina item, which is it, or is the item at Tower of Hera? Well, it's certainly not the desert ledge.
Do you want more rupees?
Are you singing now?
I'll stop.
No, you're welcome to sing. We don't sing bird song.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have not named ourselves in the name of DT, so we don't have the ability to do so.
Yes, in fact, I'd like to meet DT so that I can know who in the name of DT is in the naming of.
300 rupees at Agina. So the answer for the next section of our progression. Wait a second.
That's the only option. Ninjembro.
Tower of Hera, or could there be something easily accessible in Pod?
That's where Ninjembro's going. You are correct. Pod does have the ability. I'm kind of hoping that first chest is not a small key, because I want Ninjembro to be on the path of getting the lamp and the cane of Samaria.
People are mentioning about the Spike Cave. At this point, they logistically can't do Spike Cave, right?
That is correct. They would need either the cape or the cane of Burna and a potion or half magic to be able to logically do Spike Cave.
Having the bottles does not qualify, correct?
I don't think so. Although having a bottle is required to refill the magic that you would use. I should think about that, because ideally the point is the logic is written in such a way that Oko would stand it. So having bottles alone means you would take damage, and we've written the logic in such a way that you could play the entire game damage less.
Is Ninjembro making the right decision?
Well, we'll find out.
If this is a key, he may be on a path. If that wasn't a key, then he's immediately bow blocked.
Well, he is most certainly not bow blocked, which... Okay, so Pod is front loaded with keys. If you are bow locked and you want to try and get more items, it's generally preferred that you go to the back of the dungeon as quickly as you possibly can.
Which he can easily do if he finds another key coming up in this second chest he's going to come upon.
That is true. He will find one key amongst these 3 chests that he can get to.
And he's going to go, he grabs the key.
Now, of note, if this ends his trip, then anything in the back of the dungeon wouldn't be something he necessarily needs right away. But more than likely, one of these 2 chests is going to have one more key, I would hope.
Because the key distribution is not to allow you to sequence break at this point.
Well, it won't let you get locked, is more what's happening here.
That's what I'm more meant to say, yeah.
So,
Kohrek's making the play for Hera, by the way.
Actually, Ninjembro getting all 4 keys where he did means there's a chance that Bo is in Pod. Which would be huge.
We haven't had a Windows update interrupt a run, but we did have a GeForce update interrupt a run before.
You gotta keep GeForce up to date. So we have access to a fair amount of things in Pod. There's a chance that he's gonna find one more key in the back here, which means he can see everything but the 2 bow locked items.
Hello, Big Key, and say goodbye to Ninjembro.
Hopefully we'll be able to see the items that he picks up. Well, this is interesting.
There's a small key.
Kohrek wasn't exactly setting up a death warp. And with Ninjembro getting another small key, he can check every single item but the 2 items that are boat locked.
And the spike group. Oh, the boots! Oh boy!
One piece of the puzzle unlocked to the mirror.
And by the way, that now makes it so Swamp could have an item that leads him to the bow.
That is true. I prefer using boomerang location. Kohrek taking a death warp.
Now, don't forget, that does not immediately give Ninjembro a sword. It's amazing. 46 minutes in, we're still swordless. There's a blue rupee.
I'm actually a big fan of swordless, so I'm okay with this.
I'm not.
No idea what that was. Probably a map.
I think he's just trying to figure out where he is in this dark maze.
So Kohrek on the 3rd location in our fourth location in Tower of Hera finds the map, which means our last 2 items, or no, one of these 2. I keep forgetting. They found arrows. They found arrows. Ouch.
Oh!
Wow.
Hello.
We found the bow, kids. My favorite item in the entire game, too.
And then Ninjembro's efforts just for a 20 rupee. So we have found where the boots are.
Yes.
That is required for the mirror. But we can't get to the mirror just yet because we still need to find a way to the sword.
So Ninjembro luckily has only unlocked 2 locations that he can get to, which means hopefully he's going to Skullwoods after this.
He said, what's the second location? Oh, yeah, what's the second location he's opened up?
This in the library, but he already knows there's nothing in the library.
Oh, true, yes. Oh,
He
the
has
magic
a
cape!
sword.
Uh-oh!
Uh-oh.
And the magic cape leads to the sword, which allows you to get into Aghanim's room. But Ninjembro does not have the lamp, so right now, this is a dangerous play if he were to go to Aghanim.
Well, he knows that he should be able to find Lamp, and he literally only has Skullwoods left. There's no place he hasn't checked that I'm aware of at this point.
The question is, will he go into Skullwoods? You would have to think, based on the way he's heading right this moment, he's going to. Kohrek's making the play for the Spike Cave. Kohrek's big play is to go to Pod. He's able to beat the dungeon, and he has everything that he needs at this point, but
He actually, Ninjembro technically actually has Spike Cave open to him now. Now that he picked up the cape.
and it's just for bombs.
But this is Skullwoods. This is really good for Ninjembro.
Yep, he's going to get the Canis and Mario, which is required, and he's going to get the lamp,
And I think
which gets him up to Aghanim.
Kohrek, though, is going to get a much better time in Pod when he goes there. Because he'll be able to just finish the dungeon if he wants to, although it is the green pendant. But he might do it just anyway.
As much items as they're missing, I'd almost suggest they do it at this point.
Well, he'll certainly clear out as many items as he can.
And he's making the play.
Yeah. It's the smartest play, especially... So you're going to start to think, I've been moving around the seed. It's 49 minutes. I don't have a sword. I just got picked up by a wall master.
Ninjembro gets wall mastered.
That's a dangerous room to get wall mastered into. You can get lots in there. But you're 50 minutes in. You still don't have a sword. You're sitting there thinking, have I done something horribly wrong? Am I just way behind?
You've got to be thinking both of these guys are probably playing as if they are at this point because of where things are. It's got to be going out of the back of your mind. Did ninjembro check this first? Did kohrek check this first?
Absolutely.
And luckily on frame number 172, we do see ninjembro making the play for the last section, the middle section here of Skull Woods, which will yield him the lamp, which then a trip on over to the bumper cave will lead him.
Let's hope he does that before. Well, he knows that he can't get into Aghanim, but let's just hope that he says, you know, I'm up here. I should check that, because then he is on the right path to victory.
I would assume, just because I believe he has already checked the top of the graveyard, that he's already checked that.
Why would he? He wouldn't have gone to the top of the graveyard. He doesn't have mirror.
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
And he didn't have gloves or boots, so there's not a whole lot for him to do over there.
Yep, you're right. But he is making that play right now for Bumper Cave.
I can't wait to see his check and him to start to leave and then go right back as soon as he realizes what it is. Nope. He knows he wants it.
Yeah, he's got to be careful of the pterodactyl, though.
Those things are unforgiving. Programmed to actually stay stuck to you no matter what. Like, they'll just keep coming at you as long as you're somewhere within range. Whereas their Light World counterpart, they're programmed one of two ways. They'll either come at you once and fly away, or come at you twice and fly away, and that's it.
Ninjembro picking up the first sword at 51 minutes and 57 seconds. His next play, you'd have to think, is go to Aghanim, knowing that it's required for the mirror.
Oh, absolutely. And then my guess is he'll immediately go straight into Swamp. He either thinks he's way behind or he's way ahead.
Yeah, he might not make the play for Hera for a while, but at least he'll be able to make the fast trip up to Hera now.
That is true.
Cape was in the dash rocks, so the boots were required to get to the Cape, to get to the first sword. And that combo gets you up to Aghanim.
You have to use the Cape to get through there, ninjembro.
Well, he doesn't have to, but I'm certain he doesn't want to die on that screen.
That's fair. Oh, yeah, I don't... Oh, I guess the hookshot does actually stun them. And the stun pack, we're learning right now, is the heart.
This is first we're actually learning of this, too. Yeah, the hookshot looks like it works a whole lot better than boomeranging, because boomerang is just a quick stun.
So the entirety of this game could hinge on if Sahasrahla has something and kohrek finishes this dungeon. Hopefully, though... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, the question is how much is he going to invest once he finds the boots?
Oh, he'll only have one thing new with the boots that he doesn't know about. It would actually be more devastating if he finds, like, the golden glove. But he might have access to a different sword. We don't know that this is the only sword.
My major thing is I haven't been keeping track of how many more items exist in this dungeon outside of the green pendant.
I'm sure Kohrek's going to give us a map check, or a menu check.
He just did. We don't have the compass. We don't have the map just yet. The map's going to be down here in the bottom right.
Yep.
And there it is.
So then I think that means that Helmasaur only has the compass. I didn't think the compass. Maybe the compass was in the chest. No.
Well, he's got 2 keys right now, and he's already checked the middle island. So -1, -1. I'm just trying to think of key distribution at this point.
Well, he also has the opportunity to go down the right side, which he might not have done yet.
Yeah, he hasn't done the right side yet. And there's the question of the matter is there an item over there?
Yes.
Well, we're gonna find out. He's gonna go grab these boots. There's the boots, and he is pressing forward.
Unless he's already done.
Maybe. Oh, he already has.
Yeah, I guess he has, because if he has 1 key now and has all the items from the back of the dungeon, he's done it. So he would only be killing Helmasaur for the green pendant.
Yeah, because he would be dropping the compass.
Although, I'd say this, at this point, you have 1 pendant. Do you maybe just get this one anyway?
That seems to be what he's thinking.
Like, it's an item, it's a long way to go for 1 item, but it is 1/3 of the way to possibly something at the pedestal, but no one wants something at the pedestal, really.
Well, let's take a look at this just to examine what could be at the pedestal. The only thing that could be at the pedestal right now that we know of is if Myers blocked by the medallion at the pedestal.
You drive a hard bargain.
Because we know where the mirror is.
Yep.
And we know the fire rod and the ice rod can't be blocked behind the pendant at Turtle Rock.
Absolutely. We know where tape, like all the fetch questy stuff that's unimportant. Yeah, it would. The only thing it could be is the entry into Mire.
Yep, either that or the fetch quest for them entry into Mire, and that would be quite the trolley seed.
So we got ninjembro picking up that mirror. Gonna have a whole world open to him. Book.
A whole world open to him with the exception of 2 spots on the map right now.
You don't need to get to those tablets. He can, when he gets the book, he can read them. And he could see, if I were him, before going into Swamp, I would actually make a play up to Nevermind. I'm thinking crazy talk. He can't get the floating island yet. Nevermind.
There is the compass drop from the Helmasaur King. Kohrek has now finished off 2/3 of the pendant dungeons, with the 3rd one being Turtle Rock. The question is what does Sarashula have?
Well, we're not going to find out anytime soon because he has to save and quit out of here.
There's that save and quit.
He should have the cloak.
He's going up to the mountain
How
cave?
does he... Oh, he doesn't have the cloak because it's in the bonk rock. Never mind. I'm just making
Okay, he's just going there for the quick life revival. And he is going to check to see what that green pendant yields. All right, what do you think is going to be at Sarashula, guys?
Got some good guesses. I'm going with 20 rupees. He also, immediately after this, can go finish off Armos, which isn't a bad play.
Not a bad play. It's not going to yield him an item, as we know, but you need to finish it anyway.
That's true. It will give him a crystal.
Here we go. It's a piece of heart.
We know it can't be the single arrow. We've already gotten that, chat. Ninjembro pushing the advantage at Swamp Palace. A move I completely agree with. The other side of it is there are a lot of items here, so it's a good shot that you'll either find a sword upgrade or potentially the Titan's Mitt.
At this point, I almost have to think that Titansmith's got to be here.
Could be Book and Titansmith could be in Desert, but that's
right.
kind of like saying that.
But that pretty much would be the only other way that Titansmith wouldn't be here.
Yep. Well, ninjembro has also not gone back to Hera, so he doesn't have the bow, meaning he's not sure, right? He can't do Eastern or Pod fully. Well, he may never go back to Pod.
Yeah, we now know that's not a play he needs to make. So kohrek is going to be finishing off Eastern. Hopefully he'll think of checking that Bonkrok soon, because that's pretty much has got to be his only play at this point.
This is... What is her other... What is the other 5 or 6? Crystal. I don't recall. At the very least, I agree with Kohrek's play. It's like, if you're not sure where to go, just doing something that you can do to get it out of the way is a smart play.
Womp and Eastern.
Oh, interesting. So if it's Swamp and Eastern.
So ninjembro will not have access to the Pyramid Fairy at this point.
No. But if Kohrek goes and picks up that cape, he can go kill Aghanim, do Swamp, and have access to the Pyramid Fairy.
I'm just curious where those Titansmiths are going to be at this point.
They're going to be at the Pyramid Fairy.
Could very well be.
That would be an amazing place to find the Titansmith.
Let's have a shout out for DJ Tifahar, who is tracking for us.
Doing a wonderful job.
There's the big key.
It's always nice to find the big key in Swamp before you get to the big chest. Backtracking is never fun.
There's 20 rupees. There's the cape for Kohrek. Kohrek now knows what he needs to do next.
Yep. He has the next 5 minutes of this game planned out for him.
And this is one of those places where you can't use the Aga 1 skip. You have to go visit him. Oh, just a map inside the big chest.
I was doing a fun little run the other day where legitimately went into Swamp. I'm like, I need hookshot, but I'm going to go in here anyway. And found the hookshot in that big chest, and I'm like, I don't even understand what's going on anymore.
And then you blamed yourself for creating a vanilla seed.
Yeah. Immediately the blame VTorp went up in my head. I'm like, what's going on? No. That's actually, I do think that when things end up in their vanilla locations, that's amazing. Because the likelihood of that happening is so minuscule.
There's 216 things to place in this game, and for that to happen, it's just rare. But it's 218 now, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll go with that number. I don't recall. I think it's 260 if you count like keys and such.
There's the Titansmith.
Bam! So the last troll could be what is the entry for Meyer. And then ninjembro has to go and back to Hera. If ninjembro, see, here's the problem with getting Titansmith. There's a lot of world open to ninjembro now.
But you could think maybe he's knowing that there's a sword up there on the floating island that could lead him up to Death Mountain.
That could. And luckily, Hera is required. So eventually you're going to get there.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to menu.
The worst boss in the game, the menu.
Say rip to ninjembro having a chance at a sub 3 item menu. Kohrek now going up against Daga 1. And, I missed another opportunity with this seed to ask how many blue balls you think these runners are going to get during the Aga fight, but it's already ruined because both of these guys are going to get the same setup.
Zgig72, to answer the fast item swap in a future version, there might be something that is available at some point, but it will never be available for races, because menuing is legitimately a skill that you need for this game. And in races, we try to keep things as close to the original game as possible. That makes sense.
I mean, you can't let me do a select swap easily? Feels bad, man.
But the original game, they would have put it in the original game if they wanted it, right? It's not like
you're correct.
It's not like they didn't have the tech at the point.
Base of her from Argus. So where does ninjembro go next?
He's got the world. He's going to probably go to Mire. I guess the Mire area. That's 3 quick items. You're also into desert at that point.
That's a possibility. I mean, that does totally make sense. Except that's where he's not going. He's gonna go check the island, not the island, but the south. What's that place called?
South of the
Haunted Grove.
Yes, also known maybe as Cave 4526. I don't remember which one it is.
Plus 5 arrows.
You're right, Cellular. It was not, but I don't know. For the guys that were playtesting this, they would have been like, "Hey, it should make it easier." Because you should see the code that is the menu. They had an opportunity.
Bombos required for Misery Mire, which will keep ninjembro from going in there.
Unless... Nope.
Well, we're not done yet. But wait, there's more. You see, in addition to those 40 rupees, if you order right now and promise to tell a friend, we'll give you the 2 items that are here in Desert as well. Hi, Compass. How you doing?
So it looks like Kohrek has actually finished 2 more dungeons than ninjembro at this point. I did not see what that was.
Well,
must have been
I guess, based on the way ninjembro is running, that must have been the big key. But he won't let us know, thanks to frame number 73. And there's a small key. Aga 1 was required this seed because the mirror was in the lumberjack tree, which was required to beat Swamp. Which obviously held the Titan's Mitt, which is where ninjembro is right now.
So as these runners, I think even though you have silver arrows, right, you're still kind of like wanting more than the Master Sword, which you know you have access to. They both know that they're going to get the Master Sword at some point, which is helpful, but what you really want is like tempered.
Well, behind door number 3, we have half magic. You could go ahead and charge up more magic than you ever could shake a fist at with half magic. It could be yours if the door is right.
So many sales here at the Desert Palace. I gotta come by here more often. So what's your most favorite item in the entire game? If you had to pick one.
If I had to pick just one, give me the fire rod.
Fire rod? Fire rod's good. It's not a bad one. I'm still gonna stick with the bow. I like shooting things with the bow. I guess I'd have to bow and have the silver arrows added on, but you could even have half magic with your fire rod. Quarter magic, actually. Let's give you all the fire.
What's your favorite item, chat? We got some tickle beams, some mushrooms, some vampire skewers. What the hell are you guys doing with those vampire skewers?
Oh, and ninjembro has to hammer out Landmo.
Well, he doesn't have to, but that plastic sword ain't gonna do a whole lot of damage.
It'll do NMG damage.
Don't remind me.
Have you done an NMG run recently?
No, I've done a Master Sword run before.
Ah, nice.
I was almost tempted to just go grab the ice rod to get myself a better chance.
You know, if you're good with it, it might actually really speed up that fight. But routing it in is just such a pain.
Did ninjembro find anything else besides half magic in this dungeon?
Nothing important. I think it was...
So the answer obviously is nothing important, period. The half magic is nice, but it is not required to beat the game. So we know ninjembro cannot make the pass into Misery Mire at this point, unless... Unless... Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, good. Because we know the play that ninjembro needs to make, and that's up to Death Mountain. In fact, I think that's the only play he can make at this point. But that's not where he's going.
No, he has the Smiths available to him.
Oh, that's right. He's got the Smiths available to him. And that's the only play he's got right now is the Overworld stuff and Tower of Hera. Now, I'm not going to name names, but somebody private messaged me saying the favorite item is a fairy in a bottle while death warping. I wonder why.
We've all done that. At least once. Everyone's done that.
Yeah, but 3 races in a row?
Wow. You learn after the first one.
You'd think so, but no.
You learn after the first one.
You'd think so, but no.
Okay, maybe the second one?
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
I think
hey, red mail.
Yeah, you definitely walk in there for that. You don't need it with this many hearts, but you don't say no to it for how easy that is. This has been horrible. Like an hour of no sword. Going on an hour and 15 minutes with now you just have the fighter's sword. This is the most brutal I've ever seen.
Apparently fool me 3 times, I'm a dumbass, that's right.
So you're saying if I want to play against you in a race, I should make sure that there are plenty of fairies and bottles and the mirror is nowhere
Please
to be
do!
found. Like, yes, that's great. But if I hide the mirror far, far away, so you're going to be death warping.
And good luck to the commentary trying to describe that one as I facepalm myself for the 4th time in a seed. Why won't I die?
I think that my favorite is after you do like a failed death warp with the fairy, you like turn around and go, all right, I guess I'm just walking out of here. I've seen people try to do like a second, like just set up the death warp again, but that is a lot of health to get rid of. Kohrek's about to get his Titan's Mitt and feel a lot better. Still gonna be searching for a fire rod.
And ninjembro is now making a play for Dark Death Mountain. He will pop into Hera at this point.
I hope so. But then again, he might not. He might... No, he absolutely has to. He has to finish the dungeon. It's a crystal. Let's finish it.
Well, you're already up here. You might as well.
That is true. Although he's going to get to do it with the Master Sword. Potentially more than the Master Sword.
That depends on what's in here. Well, he's going to do it with the Sanctuary Heart.
That's true. So have you ever wondered about the premise of these games where you have this weird little mute guy going around, like, stealing hearts and stuff? Has this ever crossed your mind?
Not that much.
Okay.
Ether required to get into Turtle Rock. And ninjembro knows that there's a sword to get it on the island, so he's going to go for it.
I completely agree with this play. They have a lot of health.
Yeah, this is the kind of seed where you shouldn't really be dying all that much. Hey, there's bombos required for Misery Mire.
That is true. We are a fire rod away from knowing where everything is.
And by the way, you know what that means? We can officially retire the premise of this being a pedestal required seed.
That is true. Aghanim's enough, and we are sending a whole bunch of silver arrows all over the place.
Kohrek's going to be learning how to do Link's crossbow training when he's done with this seed. That is 11, 12. And we finally got it. Better free throwing than Shaq.
That is a very, very hard thing to pull off, quite frankly. So.
But also that Bombos does open up Ice Palace here to ninjembro.
That is true. We have a potential for Fire Rod in Ice.
Dun, dun. I think we had a seed like that last night in one of the races.
So I certainly agree with as soon as you have Flute and Titan's Mitt, if you know Misery Mire is required, at the very least coming here, just to know the entry requirement. That is the difference between like Schrodinger's Go mode and Go mode for you.
No, to be honest, this is really a close race at this point.
It most certainly is. And Ninjembro has this dungeon to finish up and Eastern. And the guys are almost at parity again.
So kohrek has the crystals required for the Pyramid Fairy, but will he check it anytime soon? Maybe the question is after he checks Desert.
Well, his best opportunity to do it was right when he left Swamp Palace. So my guess is if he didn't do it then, he's probably not thinking about it at all.
Somebody making the comment about how kohrek's got the silver arrows for the Lammolas, so it'll help him save some time. Well, he's gonna have to fire better at the Lammolas. He's only got 10 opportunities at this point. Make it 20. So you're going an hour and 18 minutes in. You just found where the bow is located. What's going through your mind?
Through my mind, that I am behind. That is the only thing. I mean, because you're assuming that you feel like you've checked every single possible location, and it's always been in the last available location every single time. And you're just going to assume that your opponent has had at least one lucky play. In this particular case, they've both been having, like, they're checking the last possible locations on their paths that they've been taking.
And Ninjembro knocking off the Moldorm, got his bow in hand. Probably he's going to finish off this path up here with a check of the Spike Cave just because he's already up here at this point. And he'll be rewarded with 3 bombs to go with the 34 he already has. So for kohrek, really the difference at this point is if he goes immediately up to Death Mountain, you pretty much would have to consider him to have a lead at this point.
That is correct.
So why does kohrek's Link look like a frog? Going to take that one away, Vitor?
Sure. A little while ago, somebody brought up that they wanted to play the game as Zelda, and there weren't really any. There was like one sprite hack to do that, and for races, there was a concern that we had about the ability to decompress graphics so that you can, like, if you had a graphic that decompressed faster than somebody else, it could actually affect how fast you get to play the game. However, the Link's graphics are actually always completely uncompressed in the ROM. So we were able to say, all right, well, if we put in different graphics for Link, they're uncompressed, so they will always display the same no matter what they look like. And then we had a whole crew of amazing people get together and just crank out sprite after sprite after sprite. And now we have something like 30 or 40 almost new different sprites that you can choose from to play as when you're playing this game.
And it's a whole lot of great additions to it, and we've got a whole slew of players you can play as, like Garfield, for example, or Link, or the Bunny, or the Frog, or a Ghost. We've seen some Boos before. Kirby as well. What's your favorite sprite?
Link. I like Link a lot.
You say that nervously.
I also like Demon Link, but or Dark Link. But Link, I don't know. He's the guy that I've always had fun playing as. There are some really cool new ones in there. I know that like people like Mog and there's now just brand new. The Pug has made it in.
kohrek has made the immediate trip up here to Death Mountain, and this is going to pay off for him. And I love the slew of answers we got throughout the entire chat. Mine would be the Bunny Link, which is why my avatar and Discord is Bunny Link. So Ninjembro here making way through Misery Mire, finding the whole slew of keys. kohrek about to be united with his Bombos medallion, which will get him into Misery Mire.
I think we're actually really close for this race.
The only difference right now, Ninjembro still has to go into Eastern and beat the Armos Knights. He gets one of the 2 items in this dungeon. Bunny Link gets switched into Naked Bunny. Garfield turns into Odie, doesn't he?
I believe he does. Oh, we also added, I think Luigi got added in the update right before the tournament.
Ooh, nice. I know a few people who would love to play as Luigi.
Luigi, by far the better brother.
The better brother, indeed. Unless you're playing Mario Kart.
Isn't that the one where he has, like, the death stare?
Oh, yeah.
A Waluigi bunny sprite. What is the actual, like, physical difference from Luigi and Waluigi?
Purple.
Is it just the color?
So that's what happens when Luigi grabs the blue mail. He turns into Waluigi. Waluigi, get it out!
A little bit of Luigi. So that's Lala Loopsy, I think is what you're trying to say. These Wizrobes are giving Kohrek a little bit of a pain here.
Breaking news, Vitreous has the final item.
Well, that is exciting. So we got Ninjembro about half a dungeon ahead, but the other dungeon that he has to complete is relatively fast. We're talking just like 3 minutes to finish.
And eventually, at some point in time, when these guys find the fire rod, they're going to have to go back into Skullwoods. To finish that, they've already found both items, though.
Yeah, and that one should be lightning fast. That's, just burn the face, go straight up and burn the moth.
And hope Moth doesn't retreat to the corners.
A little bit of that. Although, not as bad with Master Sword. I mean, that's the intended way to kill him. Hopefully, though, they find Tempered by then. So I've actually dug this particular one. I mean, Aghanim required, but not required for Dark World access, just required to pick up an item, and not too much shenanigans into pendant dungeons.
We've had 2 tournament seeds so far. Both of them have been Aghanim required.
By far better than the qualifiers.
Oh, God. 2 of them pedestal seed required.
That's, well, the funny thing is randomness is one of those things where it's hard to really understand what that means. It means like for over a few thousand or hundreds of thousands of seeds, you're going to get 4% of them that are pedestal required. But randomness also says that things clump. And it means you could legitimately get like all 4% of them in your first 4%.
And it ended up being in 40% of the race-offs.
Yeah, it was rather daunting.
Yeah, thanks for the Ring of Fire being at the pedestal one of those seeds.
That one, that text was actually written by Christos Owen.
Who came up with the block that holds down switches?
That was me after the original text was not as clear to me, I believe.
This is the second of 4 back-to-back races, and then we have another race at 5 a.m., which is in 7 hours from now, and another race at 6 a.m., which is going to be on Speed Gaming 2.
Absolutely.
You get to have your breakfast with the Zelda tomorrow morning.
I'm going to be not awake for the beginning of it, but I'm certainly going to wake up to it and watch, because that's awesome. Actually, I love tournament season for Randomizer. I didn't realize until the end of it last year how much I like. It was getting like it was a lot of stuff to do leading up to the end, but after it had finished, and then like that period where it was like a lull, and I'm like,
how empty it felt.
Yeah, I just want more Randomizer.
Yeah, last year as in the spring.
The Vanilla Master Sword pedestal text. That would have been me, I believe. And then, what was the tablet text for the golden ticket when reading it for the book? I think it's the default text, because I didn't even think about it when we wrote that. We kind of put that all together very, very quickly. It was a great idea, and we did some agile development and got it programmed really quick to get the entire thing together. I forgot to put text there for that, so it was a good thing we didn't look. I believe it said something like, "You really don't want this," if it would have been a ticket.
Well, for the name that was going to be drawn next to Christos Owen name, you wouldn't want it.
There's 100 amazing people. If I were in this tournament, I would be like, can I get the bye first round and second round, maybe third round?
Maybe 4th round?
Yeah, just all the way to the end.
I'll take a bye into the 5th round.
So I honestly think we're going to see these guys entering Ganon's Tower about the same time.
I love close races.
Yeah, they've taken slightly different paths. But it's really, you got a few short dungeons for Ninjembro to go through, and I think one more short dungeon for kohrek to go through.
That's one item for Ninjembro and Ice Palace. Ooh, vanilla big key location. I'll just simply take a buy into the final 4 of the secondary tournament. You can join me.
There it is.
There it is, the fire rod, ladies and gentlemen.
Officially.
At 1 hour and 30 minutes and 59 seconds, we are in. I know you want to do it, Vitor.
I do. I so do. We're in go mode. That was the best I had. Should I have been like go mode? Kind of like the football players. Footballers.
Just to be like a hockey PA announcer announcing a home goal.
Let's see, after the goal, there's a goal! And then they say something like, at 1 hour and 29 minutes and 59 seconds, we have Ninjembro with a goal. Assist goes to kohrek. We'll be finding it shortly. Do you want an assist too? Because they give those away freely in hockey. It's like they named 17 people who get assists.
Sure, I'll touch the puck.
Can assists go to the other team? Does that count?
Nah.
I have a hometown hockey team, and they don't do so hot. They haven't made it to they made it to the playoffs, I think, once in 10 years. I wish they'd do better.
They need to stay out of the penalty box.
It's not even to the penalty box, people.
Okay, they need better goons then.
I think they need better goons. Is that an actual technical term? A hockey goon?
Goon is the type of person that likes to throw people into the boards and take a lot of penalties.
Ah, interesting. I'm learning.
We still have a race going on here in Ninjembro heading over to Skullwoods.
Yes, this is going to be serious race time. Ninjembro is going to be finished with Skullwoods probably, I would almost say potentially before kohrek finishes Ice Palace.
Wait, this is serious time? So that means we all have to be quiet?
No. We can still be just as crazy as we were before. There's no need to... But we still have to be serious about the play.
We'll be serious when they get to Ganon's Tower.
That's true. Okay, so serious time when they get to Ganon's Tower. Until then, it's nothing but laughs and fun.
No fun for the last 10 minutes of this run?
What? Well...
That makes me sad.
It said laughs and fun. It just means no laughs. We can still have fun. I don't know how kohrek sets that up with the frog.
So no, people are saying maybe we should do the Ganon's Tower as a golf announcer. Ninjembro making his way over to the skull, burns the skull, and he gets it in. Clap, 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 clap.
Dude, I don't think they say the claps.
They don't, but I have to imitate the noise because we're not going to get it by Feasel.
Well, I mean, there you go. Those were just for you.
Thanks.
We got some clops in chat. That's how we know we're doing well.
Yeah, just wait for the applause when we're done with this.
See, I always assumed that golf announcers were a little more like, NPR style, like almost putting you to sleep as you're talking about like Ninjembro comes into the fight with Mothula, gets one spin off, and then shoots fire wildly around the room, hoping not to knock Mothula into the spikes.
They all can't be like darts announcers.
How do darts announcers go? Give me the
Oh,
moth
we got
here.
it in the hole! Got it in 20! There's the moth in that fight right there! Oh my god!
Keep going. We need this whole moth fight that way.
Oh, come on over to the corner! Get him out of this corner! Got him done! Got him done! Got him done! We're done.
I can't wait for version 2 of that moth fight with kohrek. Because I want darts announcer. That was everything to me.
140! Likey. Or blimey, whatever the firm terminology is.
Have you ever watched like curling?
Oh my god. During the Olympic years.
During the Olympic. So is there a curling announcer style?
Oh, I can't do one. I don't watch enough Canadian television.
Is that a Canadian thing?
What's more Canadian than it is American? Americans only really care about it during the Olympics.
I don't really think they care about it then. No offense to any of our curling fans in the chat.
Look at the sweeper. He's going. Oh, look at that. He's going hard, hard, hard. Fusel's never going to allow us to be back on speed gaming, is he?
Probably not together. Oh, all right. So, got a cold stare fight with Master Sword.
Kohrek and go mode.
That is correct.
Ooh, Kohrek didn't get him into the corner.
Nope, but he's co-wrecking him with that fire rod.
He caught me off guard with that one.
I gotta have one or two of these. All right, so the race is down to Ninjembro getting to Armos with Silver Arrow, should be a quick fight, and kohrek beating up our man Moth.
So Kohrek has to go to Skull. Ninjembro has to beat the Armos Knights. We have a race.
This is a super race, because I think Ninjembro, based off of what I'm seeing here, might be entering Ganon's Tower like seconds before kohrek.
This could be a right side, left side gamble. And V26 has been a lot left side, right side gambles.
It's mathematically smarter to go left every single time, but that doesn't mean that it's where you need to be. And I do honestly apologize to all of the curling fans in the audience this evening. I blame my poor upbringing in the Midwest.
Yeah, sure, blame it on the Midwest.
It's easy.
By the way, if you like this race, I'm going to plug a race that's going to make absolutely no sense when YouTube video replay. Coming up at 10 o'clock, or right after this one is done, Mr. Barry Bonds, Dragon Master 0283. That match coming up right after we're done here.
Absolutely. I'm going to be totally watching that. I even think on commentary, I know we have Cross Product, which is
Cross Product and Jet.
Ooh, Jet's going to be in there. Then you know it's going to be good.
There's reason to get hype, but we've got some work to do right now. You mentioned that serious time we had earlier. It's time to get serious. It's time to get real serious. I want numbers in that chat. I want numbers between 1 and 22. Why, Vitor?
Well, I believe that would count for the number of chests and or locations that our players are going to be checking, looking for that big key in Ganon's Tower. We do have to count locations because there is a torch on the first floor, on the bottom floor, the basement. It's a huge floor. That will determine whether or not we get to see Bob later, and that's only if they continue on all the way to the chest above the Ice Armos. It was actually a pretty good fight here with kohrek. He just needs to get Moth out of the corner.
Oh, Kohrek's got Mothula in the corner. Mothula trying to pin him into the corner too. Kohrek trying to do the suplex move. Let's just go wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling works.
They're sizing up each other opponent. Kohrek gets this suplex, and then down goes Mothula. Ding, 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 ding.
Today's big key would be sponsored by Old Man Shoes. They help you cross bridges to nowhere.
You're at here. Please speak to Vitor for more information.
And so we're looking at, what is this, like 40-second difference?
Ninjembro going into Ganon's Tower 139.57.
And Kohrek doing the climb. What chest were you gonna pick? I mean, we've already started, so you can't pick 1 or 2.
8.
You're going 8. I'm gonna go with 20, and I'm gonna hope.
Ninjembro's going right side.
Oh, this could be a race.
Ninjembro's going right side.
This means he really does feel behind, and now he has to wait for the. I wouldn't have gone.
Oh no, he goes into this room.
This is the trap room of unhappiness.
Of infinite sadness.
That is true. Well, he was trying to reset the I don't know, stanchions, whatever we want to call them. Torches?
Torches?
Yeah, that's what some people call them. I've heard it both ways just now.
I think that's the first time we've seen that room.
And
when you haven't teleported into it. Yeah. It took what, 500 races to get to that point?
I think so. That's all right.
3 no. 4 no. 5 no.
Ooh.
6 no.
Oh, the mirror. I think if you go for the gamble, you go for the gamble. Like, just keep going. So if Kohrek goes left side, they're gonna be on.
Look on the torch.
Wow. I don't know. Do you get the book and leave and go check the tablet?
Not worth it when you have a feeling you're behind like this.
There are no such thing as joke rooms. They're all amazing rooms, cross product. They're rooms of good design.
Ice rod. That's beautiful. So 4, that's 8, that's 10, 11 so far.
So Kohrek can catch right up if he goes right back up those stairs.
He's going right side.
Go right back up those stairs, Kohrek. Right back up those stairs.
He's gonna defy you.
Or check this room.
He's not doing that.
He's certainly not.
11 is a no, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back with 20. That's what I originally said.
Nice hookshot strats there by Ninjembro.
Ooh, Kohrek, could that damage almost had a chance at not making it through. So Kohrek could, again, if the item is not in randomizer room, catch right back up if he goes all the way.
No to number... What is that? Oh, God, I've lost count now.
You were at 10, 11, 12? Was 12 maybe?
Maybe.
The important thing here is that Kohrek goes into that portal. You go into that portal, Kohrek.
Now, the question is will he mirror out after grabbing this key?
Don't... Okay, we can still have a race.
Shield. There's ether. Oh. There's the big key in the randomizer room.
All right, so Kohrek didn't lose too much time. He's going to go left side. So this still has a chance of being a full-on race. They're not terribly far apart.
By the way, if you're guessing number 17, you're the winner this time around. VTorp, what do they win?
Well, let's see. Did anyone actually guess 17?
I'm not scrolling through that wall of text.
Well, if you actually guess 17 and Rick confirms it, I will name a pixel in the game after you. That no one will know which.
Razzle333 did.
Well, Razzle, I will name one pixel in the game and not tell anyone, including you, which one it is. But just know, it's in there. In fact, I've already named it. This has been an amazing race. It's been hard to tell like who's been ahead the entire time for the different plays. They actually went 2 separate paths.
Yeah, this is a kind of race where, these runners are not too far apart from each other, but we had no clue how close this race was for a good half of this run.
Now, there is something that could happen here that could change a few things, potentially. If Kohrek goes and checks above Bob, or at Bob, I should say, and Bob has a tempered sword, if he chooses to go that far, then there's a chance he could get something more out of this. Although, we have a few more chests. There are 4 more in the dungeon. Like, a tempered sword could be the difference in this. That's all I got.
Could it be in the Alucard chest?
It is entirely possible that it's in that chest. And if it is, and that makes a difference, like that is the game-changing chest, that would be amazing.
Otherwise, get ready for Master Sword Ganon.
Which is a whole lot of fun. It would be insanely more fun if they didn't have silver arrows.
Because then you'd be talking 52 spins.
Yes, you would.
52 painful, antagonizing spins.
So if I'm ninjembro, I'm opening all the chests up here.
Well, we found where the map is. Now he can get himself through the entire dungeon.
And no one did the Pyramid Fairy, which is a little surprising.
Hey, Riot Shield.
You can now block lasers, but
not the ones that Kohrek are facing.
No.
Come on, Moldorm, play nice.
A Fall to Moldorm could also be a game changer here.
And there it is.
Ouch. Sorry, ninjembro. We will say that Rick just cursed you by mentioning that.
Did I just get thrown underneath the bus here?
You might have.
Kohrek is just having a miserable last room of the gauntlet.
That room can be super trolly since most of it's on ice, and ice physics are just no one's friend. Well, let's see. Oh, he got the crazy glitch on Landmo. Too many sprites on the screen at once. Landmo doesn't know what to do.
Lamo's not being a bro, and Kohrek's still having some trouble firing silver arrows. He does need to keep 4 of them in his arsenal. At least 4 of them. You don't want to run out at Ganon.
You absolutely do not. That is the worst feeling.
Especially when you're dealing with Master Sword.
That is true. So, ninjembro's kind of getting some Aghanim fight here.
Yeah, we'll get more of an update of where he is in this Aghanim fight. Right now, there he is. He's up. Now the question is, how good are these runners at Master Sword Ganon?
Math girl, nothing like that happened. Anyhow, that is true. Because at this point, you've made the decision that you're going to go with it. And they at least have silvers, though. That is a heap of difference.
Now the good news is that with half magic and the cape, you can make this a little easier on yourself.
Do they have any extra pots filled with anything of import?
Kohrek just downed 1 of them. I don't think he has another one, though. I don't think ninjembro used his blue goo from earlier.
Probably not.
And here he does use the cape, although I would save the cape until the bats come out.
Yeah, the fire bat phase is the one where you really want that cape.
I do like that he's got him in the corner, though.
This is the best possible place for you to have Ganon. You don't even need the cape. You just go all the way up into the corner there and spin away. You'll get 6 hits, which is half of the amount you need. Oh, he has a full magic pot, too.
Very worried about. Oh, that's right. Ninjembro used it in the Dark Maze. Kohrek can't take a fall at this point. This would push him a little further back.
He's got to stay up on here and kill Moldorm.
Because Ninjembro now is on stage 3.
Which is also very... Wow, the use of that hook shot. He's got one more hit. Moldorm's angry. I'll let him knock you off.
Got him. Got him. Got him.
Nice. Both our players did find the Dark World arrows. So this is a slow and the steady wins the race. Just be careful. He's going to get a double, possibly a triple here.
Nope, double. Get him again in the right set. He can get a double here, but he's not going to chance it.
No, he's just going to go with the same.
And here he is. And Ninjembro will go to 1-0 in this Swiss tournament with a win over Ganon.
As soon as he walks in, we will have an official SRL race time of 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 39 seconds.
Congratulations to Ninjembro. Kohrek goes to 0-1, but we'll continue in the tournament. 6-round Swiss tournament. You need how many wins to get into the next round? 4, correct?
I think it's a minimum of 4, and anyone who is in the 3 range has an opportunity to play in for a few slots.
So 4 guarantees you in the group stage, 3 gets you into the race-off. Ninjembro will decline the opportunity for a post-race interview, but give him your GGs and congratulations. Stay tuned. We got another race coming up in just a few moments. Let's cheer Kohrek to the finish, though.
That's right. He has just got to beat up some Ganon here, and we will be all done.
Kohrek currently at the Ganon fight. We'll see how he does. Mr. Barry Bonds versus Dragon Master 0283. That's coming up next in just a few minutes here on Speed Gaming. We've got Cross Product and Jet coming up on commentary for that race.
By the way, huge shout out to our first race commentators, Alucard and Sakura, for a great job. It was amazing.
Yeah, they had a lot of fun with that first race, and glad you guys are here for day number 1 of the fall tournament. But we've got one more race even after the one that's coming up in just a few minutes. SM Bai versus Andy.
Oh, goodness.
That's kicking off somewhere around midnight Eastern time. And then 5 a.m. Eastern, we have another race. And at 6 a.m., we have another race on Speed Gaming 2. So Ninjembro is in the chat. So it just came down to you were the first one over to find where the fire rod was.
Yep. I think also there was Kohrek's play to finish off Pod, which was unnecessary. And Ninjembro just didn't have that opportunity. He might have finished it given the opportunity, but he didn't have it at the time.
When we speak of Andy, we're speaking of the Andy.
That's right. The Andy that is, there's only one named Andy in the entire tournament.
The Andy who ran Swordless at SGDQ and then ran the race with Christos Owen during HRDQ.
Isn't that one hard to say?
Very much so.
I'm really glad that they did that, though.
Yeah, it was a great job, and missing the torch glitch, but that's not really a problem at this point.
Yeah, at this point you have half magic, most of your stuff's in there, and gets the double there. So this should just be one more hit, and on to freedom.
And how about a GG for both of these runners? A great run for both of these guys.
Absolutely. This was an amazing race to watch. We have our players finishing within minutes of each other. In fact, an official SRL race time of 1:54.59, putting them at, what was that, 3 minutes apart? 3.5 minutes apart? I can't really math.
3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, that is amazing for a seed that was this trolly. This was like a new level of troll, I think. Anyway, I love finding Fire Rod in Ice Palace.
And we're going to bring Kohrek in here to talk about this with us for just a few seconds because we got to get on to the next run. Good job.
Yes, great job, Kohrek.
Thanks.
It was an excellent race to watch. So, one quick question. What was your decision to finish pod? What was that based on, mostly, do you feel?
So I had about 4 locations left, and it seemed most likely that the boosts were the progression, but I was never going to be closer to pod than I was right then, so I figured I'd just finish it out.
Makes sense. I mean, it's a solid choice. It, yeah. Unfortunately, when ninjembro was there, he didn't have the bow, so he couldn't complete it, and he just kind of pieced out, which I think saved him some of that time. But this was an amazingly close race.
Yeah, I mean, I felt pretty good about my route and how I played. It's just, at least until the end, that was probably my worst GT I've can remember. But, it felt pretty good.
Both of you guys ended up doing the right side first, so you didn't lose any time to that. But it was a great run, though.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it.
How about the boot-locked first sword for you?
That was hilarious that I knew where 2 swords were, but I couldn't get them. Yeah, that was fun.
It turns out the only 2 swords you were going to get that run.
Very true.
So you go to 0-1 in the Swiss tournament, but you're not out. You still need only 3 wins to make it to the race-off, 4 to make it into the group stage. Your thoughts going into your next race?
I'm optimistic. I think I played well. I think I, can match up well against most people in this tournament. So I'll just be looking forward to it. I know there are a lot of really strong matchups in the first round, which means there's going to be quite a few really strong players in the 0-1 field. But, I'll take the match I get and I'll do my best.
Certainly. We look forward to seeing more matches from you.
Yep, good job. And how about another GG for you as you move on in the tournament? We got to get out of here because there's another race that's about to begin. So I'm Adirondack Rick. Vitor. Let's toss it on to the next race.
Yep. This we'll introduce for you Cross Product and Jet 82.
Hey. Have fun, you two.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for commentating, guys. You guys did a great job. Make sure you follow those commentators. Command's probably updated already. So let's Adirondack Rick and Vitor. Vitor, of course, one of the developers of Randomizer. So got to hear some nice knowledge bombs and statistics from him, which was really cool.
And also make sure you give a follow to the runners in that previous race.
Yeah, and while you're giving out your follows, make sure you follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming